So we are looking for something like building these data models without using formula, without typing formula via pivot tables. These are basically called data modeling in data analytical world. Does anybody have any question for me at this moment on the pivot tables or anything, whatever we learned till now?
Uh, uh, Use case
Diagrams.
chart. Can it be drawn on Excel sheet?
Yes, sir. Why not? Let me show you. It is simple. See, that's why I've shown. There's something called Microsoft Draw. Okay, let me show you how can you do it in Microsoft Excel. I'm starting my Excel. I have which version of Excel. Let me show it to you. Not where do you get in account? Right? You get. I have Office 2021. Could you see on the screen? Okay, Microsoft Home and Office Student 21, which comes with which have came with this laptop. Okay, so this is what I'm using right now, and let's try to use how can you draw use case diagram. If I click here, if I say insert, there is something called insert.
So the screen has been frozen. We can only
Oh,
see
sorry,
your
sorry. Let
home
me
screen.
do the share again. Yeah, this thing do happen sometimes. Now, could you see my Excel?
Excel, yes,
Yes.
yes.
Now in insert, there's something called draw. I don't know where this draw gone. Comment, symbols, chart, recommended chart, maps, line, column. No, that's not. Come on. If I extend this thing, no. Have they moved to somewhere? Insert. Okay, yeah. These are again clear. No.
So you can search on the top.
Yeah, I can do so, but let me in the word it's just insert and you have draw somewhere here. I don't know. Let me check out data review. No, it should be in the review. Okay, let's see. Let's do the search. DRAW, draw outside border. No, 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 no. I want to draw. Mm, Okay, I don't know. Okay, let me show you in Word, and then we can basically paste it in Excel as well. Okay, so in a Excel, in a Word. Okay, let me share these things now. Give me a minute, please. I'm sharing my Microsoft Word window. Same thing. So this is Excel. In the draw. Oh, come on. Draw. I have where's text box and everything gone. Or in the insert. I have something called shape. So in the shape, I can draw, let's say I want to draw an actor. This is my actor. I'll also, oh, come on. Insert, I'll also add some lines for its, the way normally we draw, what you can say. Oh, come on. Okay, then the two hands, I'll have, and then another one. So I'm just trying to draw an actor here. So this is my actor. Oh, come on. I can do Control C, Control V as well, and then turn it around like this and like this. So this is my actor, right? Let's create a scope. This is my scope I'm talking about. I don't want a fill, so I can do a right click, format shape, fill, no fill. Okay, then I could have my, okay, now in the word I can group these things. Group in the sense I can join this thing together. Oh, come on. My mouse is giving me jittery feeling. So I have selected all these scene, right click, and I'll say group, group, group. Now this is a group. Now Control C, Control V, and I'll use this second shape as a second reactor. I can reduce it, and I can change color and everything, whatever I want. And then here I'll put down my use cases. So use cases are normally with the oval shape. So this is my use case. Use case of, let's say in my fill, I'll say no fill, no fill. Okay, and here I'll write simply, oh, come on. Why can't I write it in here? Okay, here I'll write, mm, CUSTOMER enters restaurant. Okay, there are challenge with spelling, and you know what's happening? This normally by default select white as a typing thing. So it's like a customer enter the restaurant. Okay, and then there's there's another use case, and I can build the connector. So you have these type of connectors as well. Where are the connectors? Yeah, I can have these type of connector also. These are called black arrows, and you can turn them around. You can resize them, smaller, middle, thin, thick, whatever you want. You can change the color again, in the sense, this is a line, so I don't want a line. And in the fill, I want a gradient fill. Then we have quite a good options. You can go with this, that, and others. Oh, it's not really, try with this guy. Okay, so you can do whatever you want in terms of these things. Now what I can do, I can select all. This is a control A, control C. Okay, and I can basically paste it in my Excel as well. Let me show you to you. Stop share. I'll share my Excel. Could you see my Excel blank sheet? Hello, are you able to see my
Yes,
Excel sheet?
yes,
Yeah, and you
yes.
can paste it over here. So I got my complete use case diagram here, and I can move it around. I can even add one more. Now I'm free to add whatever I want to add. And here WAITRSERVESMENUE menu, and these are basically can be editable. I can make it bigger, smaller. I can change the length and width of these line. I can go 1 point, I can go 1.5 this thing. I can have another color. Which color should I give? Let's go with the blue one. Okay, now I can do all these things basically. But yes, for the first this thing, I might need to basically make this kind of first diagram to be inserted from what you can say, Word to Excel, and then you can play around with the Excel. And here again I can do keep formatting as per my need. Here I might go with this one. It's not really visible, right? Come on. So I need to basically, so you can use your imagination and try to basically this is not the spelling of menu, right? MANU, there's no E, right? Pardon me for that. And you can have all sort of even alignment for the text and everything, whatever you prefer. So this is how you can normally build an what you can say, use case diagram in Excel. I know this is not a complete thing, but most probably I think there's a draw somewhere here, or what I can say, insert a table or something. Let me search for that. INSERT, ins CRT, insert OVEL, oval shape. So how can I do it? Click insert shape and select over shape. So in the insert, where's the shape? I couldn't see shape here. I don't know why. Is it really okay? Over you have, okay. Let me go here. Okay, there's a in the insert we have illustration, and then we have shapes. Okay, so this is what I couldn't find. Could you see this thing, sir? Hello, am I
Yes.
audible? Yeah.
Yeah,
So you
yeah.
can do insert all these. I can insert another what you can say, no fill, and you can add another these things. CUSTOMER customer, ORDERS food, something like that. So here I'm just selecting this thing, and again say, like that characters are basically in white character, so I need to change it to the black here, and we change it to black, and so on so forth. I can change the character length, width, and whatever you want. So this way you can build, use case diagram in Excel as well. Does that make sense?
Perfect, perfect, beautiful. Thank you.
Most welcome, sir. And play around with these, draw features so that you'll understand how we can draw. And the way we present is basically model with these use case diagram or with these, additional details which are normally getting created on the separate layer than the document or than the typed text. So you can have typed text going in the background, and you can have this image overlapping to that. Okay, just like watermark, right? So you can do it that way. Let me move forward. Now let's try to understand one of the most important oh, come on, this zoom bar is painful. One of the most important thing which we have to do out of necessity for every time you conceptualize a solution. This is called high level diagram. Now let me take a minute to explain you what is high level diagram. And there are of course low level diagram. So high level diagrams talks about a conceptual overview of a system. So when you talk about a car, every car will have wheels, every car will have a steering and seats and everything. These are like high level, properties which you can see. But when it comes to, detailing of a car, you might need to mention the engine, you might need to mention the shock absorber, which are not seen from the outside to the naked eye. Either you need to open something or something like that. So those are, you can call it as a low level diagrams. So high level diagram, we talk about a bird's eye view or a conceptual view. Okay, and this way we build a conceptualization of a solution without technology if possible. And that's how these high level diagrams are in place for last 40 odd years. So we are using high level diagrams for quite a few things, and you might call them blueprint. Sometimes they might call some other name as well, but try to understand as a diagram which gives you a conceptual idea of what you're doing. From a blueprint, even if it's not detailed, you can understand if the house is 2-storied or a 5-storied or something like that, right? And so on and so forth. In high level diagrams, we'll understand what is exactly you're trying to do, what type of solution you're trying to provide to the client. And these are normally done by the business analyst. The more domain knowledge you have, the more working or functional knowledge you have, you can draw these diagrams quite effectively. And this is how we're going to learn on job. Wherever you're going to join, we have to understand a bit of domain. If you are joining a banking, then you must know about how to open an account, what is an overdraft, what do you mean by loan, what do you mean by non-banking financial services, banking financial services, registration of a user, and so on and so forth. So these are all can be depicted in a symbolic something like box, oval shape or arrow or something like that. Now here high level diagrams, we do have standardization in quite a few software dependent places. So if you use something like Lucid Chart for high level diagram, you have certain symbol set. Even if you use Microsoft Visio for high level diagram, you have certain different set, but still you can go ahead with a pen and paper and draw this high level diagram. Let's try to understand the theoretical background of the high level diagram. High level diagram explains the architecture that would be used for developing a software product. Now in a software product, the architecture, the number of parts and parcel of the whole product, support, services, solution can be depicted in a high level diagram as a different box and the interaction with the arrows and all those things. The architecture diagram provides an overview of entire system, identify the main components. We are not talking about the nitty-gritty, we are talking about the major conceptual component can be seen from a bird's eye view that would be developed for the product and their interfaces. So we are talking about products as in conceptual modules or blocks and their interfaces, what they share. Like user account registration in a banking might need all those details of the users, starting from name, surname, address proof, social security number, and all those things, right? Whatever the bank needs, depending upon how they're interacting in terms of their day-to-day services. Now these all has to be depicted because these are kind of give you exact feeling what do you mean by user registration. So I can have a block called user registration, and I might include there details like name, age, date of birth, a social security number, last 4 digit, and whatever as per the legality and the bank's need of the data collection, those kind of scenario. And this way we can depict a kind of conceptual block of user registration within that. And these are all data shared or stored in the bank's database. So I can have a database shown on the what you can say right hand side as a secondary actor, and have a communication between user registration to the data synchronization to the bank's database. And this is how I can start building conceptual diagram. The HLD uses possibly non-technical or mildly technical terms that should be understandable to the administrator of the system, the architect of the system, the designers of the system. In contrast to level design, further expresses the logical detail design for each of these elements for the programmers or for the manufacturers or creators. Such an overview helps supporting components to be compatible to others. Why do we use high-level diagrams? Because it forms an image of a conception in terms of how the solution should look like. We are yet to to reach to a level where we are basically trying to address low level details, like should we use .NET, should we use Java or something like that, or should we use gasoline as a fuel, should we use petrol as a fuel, should we use diesel as a fuel, or hydrogen cell or electricity, whatnot. But more or less, a car means you get an idea, like a car, 4 doors, 4 wheels, there should be engine inside, I don't worry about that. It should have a key to enter, to open the door. It can be keyless, it can be many other things. Now we are going to the depth, but what we are looking for, a kind of bird's eye view, or it also called as a 100-meter view. I don't know why they call 100 meters, but normally from 100 meters, yeah, you might see a car and their exterior clearly, but not the interior in terms of how many seats and everything. Again, high-level conceptualization depends upon organizational policies and processes. So whatever your organization have been zeroed down in terms of how the car should look like, how the car should, get a feeling of a big car from outside and so on and so forth, it had to be conceptualized somewhere. Now, these high-level diagrams are the way to start conceptualizing the system in a step-by-step manner. So we evolve the overall, high-level design with the discussion of user in a step-by-step way, in a progressive way. The highest level design should be briefly describe the platforms, a system, product, services, and processes that depends on, and include any important changes that needs to be made to them. And every type of end user should be identified in the high level design, and each contributing a design should give a due consideration to the customer experience. And this is how we normally build a high level diagram. Let me give you much more details how we normally draw this high level diagram. This also named as a conceptual or a logical diagram, or a module diagram, or an overview diagram, bird's eye view, and there are so many names to it. Now, high-level design provides an overview of a system, products, services, process, such as an overview helps supporting components can be compatible to others, or it is what you're looking for in terms of getting validated such thing from the client. So when you're talking about something like attendance management system, it should have a module of leave management. It should have a module of notifying the fingerprint, or basically marking the attendance with the finger or iris scanners, whatever you are accepted to. It should have a interface to cloud server to push the data up. It should be 24/7. It should be kind of available throughout the 6 or 7 different country what state farm is working for, and so on and so forth. So these are the facility I'm going to add into the solution. That's what I'm trying to include in my high level diagram. The high level design should be briefly describe platforms, systems, product, services, third party products, services which we are getting from external, like the data feeds and all those things, processes that depends on, and include any of important changes that the system needs to make. The tools we can use are Microsoft Visio, Lucid Charts, pen and paper. More of the times we might use pen and paper because it's easier to start with pen and paper then and there in the meeting itself. And we might include this image in our MOM as well, saying this is the high level diagram which we have came up with. Now, please do suggest what type of addition, subtraction you need to do that system. Okay, let me show you a sample high level diagram here, and this is drawn by one of the student in our last to last batch. So normally the thought process, oh no, this is a generalization of a what you can say high level diagram. So we have business problem, issues, challenges, and then solution one, solution ABC, solution two, solution three, and so on and so forth. Now here what we are trying to do, we are trying to address each and every business problem, issues, challenges, wish list with a solution. There could be number of different solution supported by couple of requirements or couple of problem issues challenges, or there could be number of solutions for a given problem or challenge, depending upon your look at it, depending upon your thought process as an artist, you do conceptualize this diagram in a progressive manner. Does that make sense to you? Anybody have any question on that? Am I audible? Hello, can you hear me?
Yes, yes, yes.
Okay, no problem.
Very clear.
Yeah,
Very
yeah,
clear.
we can hear you.
Now let's have a look at examples so that we can understand in depth how we are going to basically draw a diagram for attendance management system. This is the diagram which I have done by one of the participant in last to last sessions, so we can understand in detail how we can basically get this thing addressed in a progressive manner, right? So as you can see on the left hand side, we have jot down the challenges or the needs. Basically, current attendance system is manual, paper register, logbook sign in, time with senior observing this thing. So these are all problem issues and all those things, and these are all solution we are talking about. So solution, we are going to use biometric scanner, then we can use iris scanners, we can use leave management, standard data distributions, and so on. Yes, Bhushanji, do you have any question for me, sir?
No, sir, no.
Okay. So here what we are trying to do, we are trying to understand or trying to give a conceptual solution to our client. And the client can clearly understand how, how this can be, the solution is coming up. So what type of, issues were there, what type of solution they are providing. And on top of that, somebody might say, hey, we have SAP. So you need to get older employee leave records from our SAP. So, they say, oh, okay, so I have to integrate with SAP. And then there's something called guest, for the guest, how are you going to handle guest pass entry? So I might add something like guest pass entry in the list as well. And if you can see the cloud in the background, the solution is going to get deployed on the cloud. So straight from cloud servers deployment, and then we have these facility included in the solution. Could you understand how the simple is the high level diagram is basically? Do you think you can draw a high level diagram if I give you a problem statement?
We'll try.
Yes, and believe me, this is a really kind of life skill. If you know how to draw, what can say, high level diagrams effectively, it will really ease your life. This is the best tool for planning, and you just need pen and paper. You don't need Lucy chart, or well, you can use Microsoft Word if you can to be. This diagram is drawn in Microsoft Word only, so you can do something like that, right? So this way we can build our overall thought process in terms of zeroing down the total finalized requirement and the solution which are going to get attached to it. Now each of these entities in my right hand corner normally denotes a solution against an issue or a problem statement. Like it should be a unified system, it should have a central command, 24/7, and all those things are addressed in a progressive manner. Now these all can be a different modules, or I can have different boxes for all these, this thing. Now let's have another look at the similar solution drawn by another participants. The way he or she have understood is like, enhance attendance system management system, challenge with the manual attendance, non-centralized, lot of manual integration, then integrating with SAP and JD and ERP. These systems are already integrated. There was a data entry, but now we need to include all these things here also. So on the right hand side, as we can see, cloud-based solution, 24/7, centralized biometric scanners, and so on and so forth. So these are kind of high level diagram example for our attendance management system, which we are discussing as an example for a couple of sessions now. Okay. So now my, suggestion to you is, think of any application. It can be a mobile health application, it can be, you know, a smartwatch application, it can be even enhanced attendance management system application. Try to jot down a high level diagram which we can basically discuss in our next session. Take your time, it might take 15-20 minutes, but try to give a thought process how I can draw a high level diagram in this uniform way. Just one box, two second box, and a connection. That's all, as simple that. You can have multiple boxes also on the left hand and the right hand side. But again, it depends on your thought process. You are the artist. You are basically have to explain this to this client, and that's why we are building this high level diagram. This is what we talk about, the bird's eye view or a conceptual diagram. And this is how we start conceiving the solution. This is how we start building the solution in a progressive manner, in a step-by-step way. Okay, does that make sense? Anybody have any questions, any confusion at this moment? Are we good?
Proceed, sir. Proceed. We are
Thank you.
good. I'm good.
Yes, sure. Now, these are the one of the most important tools what we've understood: use case diagram, high level diagrams, and data analytical methods. Okay, now let's try to understand the other tools which will basically go through in a fast forward mode rather than basically studying into that, because these are all optional. You have to have a couple of use case diagram, you have to have high level diagram, at least one, and you might have to basically present your data in an Excel sheet, specifically the requirement. That's why learning Excel is important. These three are the most important tools for business analyst and even for a project manager. Now, these are all optional tools like the flow chart, activity diagram, mind maps, product map, SWOT analysis. We'll take a quick visit of it. And I found really great video which I'm going to share with you again. In terms of one of the video I'll show, and other of the videos I'll basically share on the session link, which you can go through in a progressive manner. If you want to build something like product maps, product roadmaps, mind maps, SWOT analysis. These are different tools which supports your business analysis in a progressive manner. Okay, and then we'll have a look at something called Jira, where you normally logged in any bug reporting or even analysis, in terms of use case to be developed or something like that. So there you normally list down all the use case or a requirement or a user story in a progressive manner. So we're going to understand how to log such user story or use cases in Jira as well. Okay, first let's start with a fishbone diagram, I believe. No, first let's start with a mind map. Now, what is a mind map? See, this is a kind of really evolved tool over the last century or so. It started with, I believe, the Greeks. They have started using mind map to express their thought process, and that's why they used to call it mind map. So project X is my basic thought. Wherever I'm trying to address this mind map: what, where, when, how, why, who. And these are the basically 6 default branches. You can add more, you can add less depending upon your thought process. Like, I want to plan a holiday to Niagara. As simple as that. Now there are some relatives coming from India and I want to take everybody, including my family, to Niagara. So how will basically shape up my planning? Okay, so what I need to do, I do travel. So I might need to arrange a mean. Can I go by, my car? Is it big enough? If not, I might have a supplemental rental car, or I might rent a van or something like that. Now, where, how much is the distance? I have to have sufficient gas, sufficient, food supplies to travel to, Niagara Falls and so on and so forth. And when I'm going to plan, even if I don't have answer of when as of now, I might wait for the, relatives to come and then decide on a weekend or something like that. Again, depending upon your priorities and scenario, you might describe each of these branch in detail. You might have number of options against it. So for a when branch, I might have 4-5 options like March 31st, April 1st week or something like that. I'm just, throwing a raw sample here. And then we have how. So how are we going to do it? So we talked about the means, what, where, and when. Now how? Okay, how in the sense Do I have to plan, the food? Do I have to take a, half an hour break or a night break somewhere in between? So let's plan it in depth. Then why? For the enjoyment. And we should be very clear about the why of it, because it gives you a clear crux or objective to perform this project. I'm doing it for enjoyment. And then who? So who all are all contributing to this project? So should I share the revenue? Should I ask for my relative to bear some of the gas cost or some hotel cost or something like that? Well, again, I'll plan it ahead. And if I plan it ahead, I have questions to quite good number of answers. Again, there could be new question pop up whenever I actually plan. Now, these are actually building conception from your thought, or we are trying to convey the thought to a documental process. There could be 6 major topics, there could be 12 major topics. Again, depending upon your thought processes, depending upon you as an artist building the conceptualization, you might have 6 option or a 12 option and so on and so forth. Okay, now let me play you a small video where we'll try to understand how these mind maps are drawn. Okay, mind maps are used for requirement elicitation, to convert the thought to an artifact, to a document, to keep track of what needs to be done, even in a progressive manner, include detailing to the nth level. In the sense, if I can explain from this diagram, first level project X, second level can be where, third level can be location, fourth level can be anything else. Okay, now depending upon the thought process, you can extend the mind map to the nth level. Good way to keep track of what needs to be done for a given agenda, for a given branch of the mind map. This is one of the best or evolved problem solving techniques. Better understanding of thinking in a disciplined manner. Okay, now let me play you a small video called how to create mind map, and we'll understand how mind map are helping us out in a progressive manner. Okay, so how to, okay, give me a minute, let me stop share, let me, oh come on, where's my recording thing? Okay, share screen, that is so mostly mind maps is used in a research project where you start with a simple building your base thoughts and then try to extend that thought in a progressive manner, where we are trying to understand what type of options do I have at my disposal and how I can explore myself with that simple idea. You can build a mind map for enhancing your attendance management solution also. So my main thought can be enhancing attendance management solution. Let me take you to the word and then let's try to draw a mind map in a word. And it's the simplest possible thing we can do, right? We all have word and everything. So what I'll do here, let me create a new document. Okay, could you see a blank screen on your laptop, desktop, phone here? Hello, could you see
Yeah, I
a blank?
see.
Yeah, sure. Now let's try to jot down a mind map. As the trainer have explained, let's say this is the mind map. Mind map for ENHANCI in enhancing. Oh come on. ENHANCI enhancing AINDANC attendance. Okay, so we are trying to do a enhancement of attendance management solution. What I did wrong here? Attendance. Okay, attendance management solution. My first thought should be what the client is looking for is basically a 24/7 solution. So what I do, I can use something like callouts. If you can see here, there are something called callouts. Okay, you might get idea what I'm trying to do here. Callouts are like this thing which you normally see in the comic and everything, and you can give them another color just to make it more what you can say, more presentable. And my first stop, I'm looking for 24/7 and CETRILISED, centralized SOLUTTION solution. web-based, best, and I can keep going on and on and on. Okay, so here, what I'm trying to do, I'm trying to create mind map for my attendance management solution. Now, second can be, it should be, accessible to, sorry, access by mobile, tablet, iPhone, phone, and all those things. I can keep going on building like these, around these, enhancing attendance management solution in a progressive manner. I can change this color also. It's really simple to change color and all. So change the color to a darker, or I can go here, and so on and so forth. So I can keep building these things as a mind map. This is how you can build the mind map in the Word, and so the Excel. So all Microsoft Office, you can copy and paste these things to Microsoft presentation as well. Okay, so mind maps are kind of a free flow. We are not looking for sequence. We are not looking for 1, 2, 3, 4 kind of prioritized manner. But overall, we are just trying to what you can say, put our mind to the paper. Does that make sense to you? Anybody have any question for the mind map? Hello. Okay, I'll take. No one has a question for a mind map. Now let's try to understand product roadmap. These are very common in terms of product. Again, we have seen activity diagram, flow chart, and all those things. These are kind of enhanced tool for a product development. So in the product development, what we normally do, we try to research for a given product, for a region, for a specified consumer base or something like that, where we are trying to jot down what type of consumer are going to use it, whom should I sell, which are my really great consumers, or best consumers, and so on and so forth. So here, what I'm trying to do, I'm trying to build my product or study my product proactively. The best way to create agreement is to involve the key stakeholder in creating a product roadmap. So while analyzing, I might start creating product roadmap in my meeting in a progressive manner, and in the next meeting, I might show it to them. Be it a Google Meet, personal Meet, whatnot, you can show them the product map either as a printout or as on your laptop, desktop, whatever it may be. This allows you to leverage their idea and knowledge and help us to ensure that the roadmap is realistic and actionable. And of course, their sanction approval make it more interactive session in terms of try to understand their vision of product as well from the user side. By running 2 or 4 hour workshop to create a Go roadmap as the following picture illustrates. So this is a kind of Go roadmap. So we started building which type of users are going to use which functionality. Then there's a product owner, team member, how we're going to communicate with each other, what type of tools should I use a weekly status meeting, and so on and so forth. And then I can build a complete roadmap in terms of a progressive way of building my product in a step-by-step manner. Okay, product road, let me show you. Yeah, I have a video for product roadmap also. Give me a minute, please. Oh, come on. Right, it's a product roadmap. Okay. Yes, it's a simple, how many? 3-minute video where a lady is going to explain you how to build this product roadmap. Okay, again, I'm going to share the link afterwards. So after that, you might try to explore more on product roadmap. Product roadmap are specifically to the product companies where the business analysts are involved into the R&D, market research, and all such activities, right? But it's basically a synchronized planning with your stakeholder, with your product owner from the day one till we actually build the complete SRS and give it to the or give it to the project manager who's going to construct that product for that client. And that's how these product maps are being used in quite a few companies. Now they're more of use of use cases rather than product roadmap, but still there are a few companies who do use product roadmap. That's why I keep this video. It's a small video. Let's try to understand. Could you see a smiling lady with a stripped shirt on your screen?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, let me pause it. Okay, let me move ahead in terms of then business process diagram. Now these are really what you can say take up a good this thing in recent decade or so. They are trying to address all business process in a kind of workflow manner, and they call it business process diagram or business process management. So BPM or BPMN, business process modeling notation, is one of the most prominent what you can say business analyst technique, followed by few in organizations which are normally there to kind of consultancy processes or services, to be precise. So if you are into going to join a service industries like aircraft carrier maintenance, service industries like enterprise rent a car, so if they are into the car rental business. So if you do something like business process modeling diagram, it really helps you out to understand the process from ground up and address all the nitty-gritty of this process in your conceptual diagram. Again, these diagrams can be referred in my high level diagram also. So high level diagram is a kind of concentrated singular reference which goes into my SRS, and these can go as an appendix, as an attachment to the SRS as well. Now again, depending upon the organizations you work for, they might choose BPMN or any other diagramming for that matter as per their business needs. And that's how we need to learn these things whenever we start working or whenever we see the JD. And there are many diagrams which we can learn after the interview also, so that whenever you start working, you are habituated or you have hands-on experience on that specified diagram also. Okay, and this is how we progressively adopt to the policies and processes for performance, for performing on the job. Business process model and notation, BPMN, it's comprised of several kinds of shapes, including events, activities, gateways, and connecting objects, pools, swim lanes, and artifacts. So here we are talking a mix and match of all these diagramming tools and techniques to show a business process or to denote a workflow. Each shape represents something that occurs within a planned business process, how it's contributing, what things are changing, and so on and so forth. It should be noted that many people use shapes in slightly different ways, but the basic principle will remain same. The BPMN can be usually visually represented in a purchase process, order fulfillment, and many other essential business processes. Now, these business processes are really helpful in trying to understand how a thing will happen on ground. Let's say somebody in terms of restaurant we talk about, right? So the customer walks into the restaurant, he is guided to a table by that maitre d or by that main waiter. When once in seated, the another waiter gives him or her a menu. He browses through the menu. He might order a couple of food items as an appetizer first, wine, and so on and so forth. He do order those things. Now these are all different persons interacting with different actors and try to initiate certain things, try to initiate certain use cases. And this is how the beauty of business process diagram, rather than use case, they try to depict the business angle of it. Okay, let me play a simple video where we'll try to understand how these business process are modeled. Again, business process modeling is itself is a big big artwork, believe me. Means the way many businesses, they have some specified what you can say business process modeling executives which help out to the business in terms of building their business process modeling in a very specific way. Right now, again, in this tutorial, we are going to use Lucid chart as a, oh, come on, Lucid chart as our prime, what you can say,